I'm going to do here, and my time's been cut a little bit, so I'm going to have to pick it up and talk a lot faster than I normally speak. So if I go too fast, please tell me. But the telecom piece, we spent a lot of time. We've got a lot of work to do there. We're not anywhere where we'd like to be. We're going to have a telecom track at some point, and I will tell you because, and most of you already know this, but some of you may not because you haven't really committed yourself to managed services to the extent you'd like to. But the telecom business, they're very much in that space. I mean, a lot of them are further along than we are. They don't understand the server business and some of the other business, but they're all in the cloud already. There's a convergence that they've been promoting for years. You know, when we were a VAR, we were partners with a master agent here locally. And, I mean, they've been talking about this for a long time. So our intention is to try to get you guys in the same room together and start building some of that convergence and force a relationship. So there could be a VAR in here shortly, a telecom VAR who's a $50 million VAR who's doing exclusively telecom. But they're not touching the server business, and they don't want to, but they have a need. They have clients that want you to come in and do that work, and there's an obvious opportunity for partnership there. So we really want to work on trying to make that happen. So my time today is to discuss the $1 million blueprint and what we're trying to do there, but I want to give you a little bit of history about some of the things we've done at MSPU and why us. These are the things in simple terms that we do here. And we do it in a lot of different ways. We educate, and educate for us is how many read any one of our 4 books? So we're promoting books for a long time. That's education. Some of you watched a lot of the webinars. Now to do training, now some would argue that we're training you now. Would you say we're training you now by you being in these sessions the last 2 days and tomorrow? Well, sort of. How many military folks in the room? Anybody? Any veterans? Well, they know what training is. And whenever you train, you're not trained until we test you. Because I can give you all the information in the world until I test you to see if you retained it. It's not technically training. Now, some of you say, well, I'm a smart guy. I got it. I wrote it all down. I'm good to go. I like it. Some of you don't need that. We're going to get better at that with our webinars so that we do test you. And it's not so much you as it is your folks on your team, which is really where we want to reach 1 level behind you or 2 levels behind you and train your entire company. Then that's going to matter to you. Because all you know as business owner and leaders, when you go to a training, what you see and what your employee sees is never the same thing. You can sit on the same call with them, on the same customer engagement or client engagement, and you'll hear something and they won't hear it at all. But that comes from 10, 15, 20 years of experience, correct? You've seen it all. You say, well, why didn't you pick up? You didn't hear the pain point? He said he needs a server. Well, I wanted to sell him a website. You just missed it right there in the first 15 minutes. Now, certify. We're getting very serious about this. We've been doing these boot camps for a long time now. We've figured out that we have all the content that it would take to create a sales certification, and this industry needs it. Let me tell you why it needs it. How many of you have hired a sales professional unsuccessfully? I mean, you tried it, you took it out for a test drive, and it didn't work. And then you tried it again, and it still didn't work. How many of you decided you're never going to do it again? Come on, I can see the expressions on your face. Now, I'm going to talk you out of it. Because if we can certify them, that doesn't mean they're going to close and sell for you either. Because if you believe that, we've got technicians that are certifying the stuff that they can't actually do. I've seen it done right before my eyes. You have a server certification that says you can do this. Why are you perplexed? I paid for your certification. I paid an extra $20,000 a year for you because of your 17 certifications. So we know how that works. Then the lead part is important to us because we're going to take some risk on doing things that nobody else is willing to do in the channel. Cloud track. I mean, we're going to do a unified messaging track, telecom track, print management track. You know how hard it is to get a business leader like Michael Proper and Kent Erickson to come here and commit to doing 11 boot camps around the country with us? Dinner in Vegas, on and on and on, all the calls. I mean, they've got companies they're running. These are people that are out doing this business that they're talking to you about when they leave here. And that's what the type of people I want to talk to. Nothing against some of their higher 50,000-foot meetings you sit in, but most of those folks are not going into the field the next day and do what they're talking about. That's what we want. went out to find leaders that are out actually doing the stuff they're talking about. The guys in the marketing track, Mark, where's our Canadian at? There he is. Stuart. These guys are doing this stuff every day. I like to cheat as the Canadians. Someone has to. But, so, and we love them. Don't worry. Don't get it wrong. We love them. So the whole idea, though, is these guys are in the field doing marketing right now. So when you ask them a question about a website solution, anything related to the SEO, they're not giving you something they read in a magazine or a book yesterday on the web or white paper. It is real-world stuff. So that's what we really want to do here. So that's our leadership commitment to you. And we're going to work on, we tried it last year, we just couldn't make it happen, get some leadership training into the boot camp. Let me tell you why that's important. All the stuff we're going to talk about today, and everything we're going to talk about while you're here, some of you are going to go back to your office on Monday morning and not be able to get 1, 2, or 3 of the things in place. Some of your employees are going to talk you out of it. Some of them are going to refuse to do it. They're going to question your methods, your motives for doing it, make it hard, and you'll give up. So it doesn't really matter what we teach you if you can't go execute, and that's a leadership exercise. We're putting a KPI structure into our company, and I've had probably, out of our 22 people or so, I maybe had 2, maybe 3 people come in and tell me how excited they are about managing their business, their process through KPIs. The rest of them do not want to do it. If I polled them one-on-one, they'd probably say, if I had my choice, of course I wouldn't do it. But they're not in charge, are they? They're not in charge. They're trusting me to make the best decision for our organization, and that's it. I'm telling this because some of you, I tell you, we go on site, we hear all this, well, Gary, they won't do it. I tried. What do you mean you tried? We have a phrase I want you to get really accustomed to. It's called release them back to industry. Okay? That's the option. KPIs or release back to industry. You pick which side you want to play in. I'm easy either way. So that's what you got to get into. So Boot Camp 2010, talking to Michael Proper, he asked me, well, what did you guys do last year? How did you impact the channel? We did a lot of boot camps. So about 1,200 attendees. The average VAR revenue in every one of our boot camps is about $4.9 million. We track all these stats. So all in is $6 billion worth of business. I was listening, Mike. $6 billion worth of business that we engage. And there's some big companies in these boot camps. Sometimes you have no idea who you're sitting next to. And by the way, the reason some of these companies go from 10 million to 20 million to 40 million to 50 million, they come to stuff like this and they go back to their company and they make a change. That's how they grow. Outside of their comfort zone, that's how they grow. That's why it's so important to us to have people like Barbara Dove in these sessions who are out there in the field doing this business every day that can answer your question and help you through this process so you can make these types of tough changes. It's not easy. So we figured about 3 to 5% push on just a sampling survey, and these are not detailed. We figured we had a $300 million increase in revenue all in. Not what we want, but frankly, we didn't even have a goal set for it. We're just seeing how you guys could do. So that's not bad. It's a long way from zero, right? So we said, well, why don't we come up with a way to identify what we really are going to do in 2011? How are we going to impact the channel? And I've given you some of it already. So here's the community, or I hear the phrase out there now, the ecosystem. That's the new buzzword I learned at one of my Gartner webinars. You hear that all the time? So that's what we're in. So here's the market. There's 67 to 105,000 US-based VARs, depending on who you talk to. Telecom market's 25 to 75,000, and international is about 180,000, probably a little more than that. So this is our audience. This is who we're going after. So here's MSPU's community today. So presently, right now, we have 10,000 basic members. About 3/4 in the room today are basic members of ours. This means you haven't paid anything to be here. You watch some of the webinars. It's some sampling content. You may have found us through Google or however you came there, referred to us by some of our other partners. We have 700 premium partners. And there's only about 1/4 of you in the room today. Now, our marketing group, this is important. We have 36,000 of you in a database. And we've got 10 people in our company today committed to calling you every single day. And we're getting through with them, right, Ben? Tell them to stop calling me. I'm coming to boot camp. I will be there. I got that email, by the way. And we've got another list of 30,000 prospects that we haven't even aggressively gone after yet because we've got enough work to do with the folks we have in the database. But obviously, if you look at the slide before here, we've got a lot of work to do. Challenge huge. We're also doing 3 international boot camps this year with 2 that we're trying to work out. It's a scalability issue. And they don't reflect some of the other things that we're doing. So we decided to go international because we're sort of forced to. We have a gentleman here from Australia who's a print management company who wants to convert his entire company to a full managed service play. He's in Australia. Now, we hear words like in the UK and Australia and some of these other countries, they are 1.5 years to 24 months behind what we're doing here in the States. Have you heard that? I'm trying to figure out with the internet, and they can hit our website from there. I don't understand why they're not where we are. It's not like we're keeping it a secret. What don't I know? So we're looking forward to working with the international audience, but I wanted you to see just where we stand today. So boot camps, I mentioned this earlier. These are the 4 tracks we're going to roll out this year. It's a fairly aggressive goal because guess what? One of the things that we've figured out, this is the first track, by the way. Some of you may have not noticed that. We're not teaching the track. For the last 2 years, we taught every single track we've had here. So we have to go out now and find folks that we feel can do this, can handle the content, can handle your questions, and will be candid with you in the sessions. And I was watching Ken on the streaming today, man, he wasn't holding back at all. I said, man, he's just giving, and you guys were hitting him with questions, he was just hitting it right back at you. I mean, I've gone to a lot of these same sessions before, nothing like this, though. Usually people won't take a position sometimes because they don't want to offend anyone. So you don't get the answer until you come offline, but I think we've probably proven that you can still do that without offending anybody, so you can make a good business decision for your company. That's really what you're here for. Anybody interested in any of these other tracks? Yes? Yes. And certainly we bring in industry experts at each one of these to help you add another solution stack to your company. All these things help you become the ultimate trusted advisor that you want to be if you're not already there, with all the right relationships so you can get it done right the first time and not have to make a lot of mistakes trying to cut over to this particular solution. That's the idea here. So some of our goals this year. Who knows what BHAG means? Anybody, just shout it out. Big, hairy, audacious goal. Where did that come from? Good to Great. What else? Rockefeller Habits. How many's read that book?
Built to Last.
Built to Last. Nobody's read Rockefeller Habits? One guy, the Canadian? That's it? Wow. I mean, it's a ringing endorsement. So, educate 2,100 of this year. We had 1,200 last year. So we added 3 more boot camps this year to the number. These are a lot of work, by the way. We're going to train 10 to 15% of that group. And we're going to start tracking it and keeping up with it. So we'll have some idea how effective we've been. Now, 200 to 300 of you want to put through this $1 million blueprint piece. And that becomes a scalable issue of how many people we can take through that. I'm going to take you through that in a second. We're planning to launch in the end of the 3rd quarter our certification process for sales professionals. That's a big deal. We've got all the people in place to do it. It's a $50,000 commitment to even get the first test done. I mean, I didn't know there was that much to certification until we did all the research. But it's a lot of work, but we need it. Because some of you in the room say, I can't keep hiring these sales professionals and writing checks for base and not getting any sales out of it. Is that correct? So if you saw the person's resume that says he's been to boot camp, he's been certified by MSPU, I got at least a 50-50 chance now versus a 70-30 chance that he or she might be able to make it. So this is huge for us. This is our biggest one. We've been working in our community for a long time. We're going to put 100,000 people in our community this year. That we're going to do. And the community for us is a big deal because this is a piece that we think that gets everybody in the one platform together. Because one thing we've noticed is there's a bunch of communities around, but some of them you join, you can't join the other unless you're buying services from them. So where can we all come together on one platform, regardless to who you're partnered with, that you'll take seriously, right? So we think we've built enough bandwidth or relationship with all the folks we work with in the last 4 years that we can start bringing all of you together in one platform. And one of the big reasons I like it is this. If I hear one more story about a VAR telling me how many, whether it be RMM, PSA, you name the category that they had to buy every one of them to get to the right one. And I understand that now, but if you could come into the community and the people in there who've already done what you're about to do, went from 1 to 3, said, hey, if I'd have solved all 3 at the same time, I would have probably picked this one the first time correctly and saved myself $200,000 or $300,000 or $400,000. Some of you on your 3rd or 4th RMM tool still paying the fees for the first one from 2 years ago. Is that correct? None of you, right? Just the people in the other boot camp. I see it in your eyes, by the way. So here's what the $1 Million Blueprint addresses. Everybody in the room who's a sub $1 million company, and that's a huge sweet spot for us. So the people that are trying to get from $500K to $1 million. We hear this all the time. I'm at 2.5, I'm at 1.5, and I can't get to 2.0. What am I doing different? What should I be doing different? Well, I'm doing the same thing I did last year. We're not going down, but we're not going up fast enough. So the $1 Million Blueprint applies to any of you anywhere between sub $1 million up to $5 million. And I'm going to show you how we're going to help you get to that next point. There's a bunch of things you don't know. And we have to find out. And this is going to be a time for you to be very candid with yourself and deal with the reality of the things that you're not good at. And if you're not willing to do that, don't sign up for this. Because it's time for, my grandmother would say, a come to Jesus meeting for all of us. It's time to sit down, put all of our cards on the table, and figure out where we are. We can't get better unless we deal with it. So how many of us in the room are marketing experts? Raise your hands again. Wow, there's 2, 3. You just drinking coffee, or are you actually raising your hand? Another Canadian, by the way. They're everywhere. They're invading. So, training. Let's get into this one. This is a big one. How much do we spend on our employees every year to train? Anybody know? There's a Gartner study out that says how much you should spend per employee each year to train them. Anybody have any idea? $7,000. $7,000. Any other numbers? How much do you spend on your employees to train them? Whether you're sending them off to Microsoft training, whatever type of training you're doing, people coming to your place, how much you should spend per employee? Average. They say $1,400. $1,400 a year. Anybody doing that today? They charge you extra rates in Canada for that? Oh, you guys. That's right. That's exactly right. Well, you guys are very good at training to that point, I will admit. So you got to get to training. Let me tell you what happens when you don't train somebody. We have a client just sent a sales professional to our office 2 weeks ago. You'll love this. 4 months on the ground. 7, 8, 10-person company. They're doing okay. They've got referrals coming in as they come in. They brought this particular person in to go out and bring in new business. That's why he was hired. 4 months now, he comes to our place. We put him through a 3-day accelerated boot camp. So I sat down with him when he first comes in. I've never met him. I said, so what did they ask you to do when you got there? Well, they asked me to set 3 to 5 appointments a week. They figured if I did that, they'd go out with me on the appointments, they'd teach me how to do it, and it would slowly be handed off to me. Makes sense. Okay, great. So you've been there 4 months, 5 appointments a week, 20 a month, 3 months, 60 appointments. If you suck at it, maybe you got 10. How many did you get so far? 4. 4 appointments in 4 months? Why are you still working there? Well, because they kept paying me. I said, well, and they want us to fix this in 3 days? You know, and all that ended up happening was, we spent 3 days with him. By the middle of the second day, we knew he couldn't do it. We put them on the phones in our office to make phone calls. We have this new product called Phone Burner. Have you guys heard of it? Who's heard of Phone Burner? If you have people making calls in your place, you should sign up for it tomorrow. It is the most amazing product we've run into, and we can talk about it some more in one of the sales or marketing tracks, but it's fantastic. We put him on the Phone Burner system where it would call for him, send email, and drop voicemails for him, and watch him make 100 calls, and then we could tell right away. We gave him a script and everything. And he boloed by the second day. He should have been fired months ago. Or excuse me, released back to industry. We don't want to fire anyone. Don't want to offend anybody. So there was no training program in place. When I asked them, well, did they train you on anything at the company? Because they showed me the managed services stuff. They showed me some of the collateral. They promised me some marketing leads through the website. Did you get any? No, didn't get any of that. How many calls did they go out with you on? They took me on 3 visits and kind of showed me the show and expect me to pick it up from there and run with it. Well, who was managing you every day to make sure you were making the calls? No one. Why not? Well, they just assume I'm the sales professional. I'm over here. I'm just doing it. Some of us hire salespeople or sales professionals to say we've hired them. Well, we checked that off. We hired a guy. That should do it. He'll come back with something eventually. Right? It doesn't work that way. And it's really sad because it was a disservice to him and to the organization because nobody was willing to train him. Somebody tell me why we won't train a sales professional. Because some of you have hired them and didn't train them either. We don't know how, or we don't have time. And the don't know how part is very important because I can't train a technician even if I had all the books. Even if he was helping me read them with him. I still couldn't train him. How many of you are more of a technically minded owner? Should be most of you. I've seen your DISC profiles. And I'm here to tell all of you, you have to submit your flag to this point. If you interview me and you're a technical person, you would hire me the first 15 minutes when I was done with you. And I might not be able to sell anything at all in the real world, but in the 15 minutes of selling you on me, you'd be like, yeah, man, I can't wait to get him started. He's going to sell the whole world. It's going to be great. I had the exact thing happen to me. I interviewed an engineer one time. Shouldn't have done that. I told Eric, hey, man, he's got 36 certifications. Sounds like he knows what he's talking about. I'm sold. Eric comes back, half of these are not even real. I go, how would I possibly know that? And it all sounded good to me.
Why didn't you hire him for sales?
I should have hired him for sales. That's exactly right, because he closed me like a door. That's a very good point. So to that point, you get into this interview process with someone you're not qualified to be interviewing. And then to add worse, you go try to train them. So how many calls are you going to make today? Well, I'm going to make about 10. Okay, sounds good. See you tomorrow. I'm going to enter some of it in ConnectWise and AutoTask and all the rest of that. I did my calls. I went to lunch for 2 hours. Going to go golf with a couple of people that think they want some kind of stuff from us somewhere down the line, maybe in the future. I don't know. It all sounds great to me. Subject matter expert. How many of you think you're technically a subject matter expert at what you do? Raise your hands. Don't be shy. I mean, you spent the time in. How many hours does it take to become a subject matter expert at something? Anybody know? 10,000 hours. 10,000 hours. Who made that statement? I just recently learned this about 2 months ago. But it was so compelling, I said, I'm never going to forget that. So if that's true, how many of you in the room are subject matter expert on sales? Raise your hand. There should be a few of you in here. How many for marketing? 1. Now here's the part about that that's pretty unfortunate for all of us. To be good at this business in the next 2, 5, 10 years, you have to be good at those 2 things. You have to master it. The 10,000 hours is designed to gut check you to let you know how much work you got to do. Some of you might be at 3,000 or 4,000. You're on your way, but some of you are at 0. We've had conversations with you. You're the guy telling me about how much percentage of white space on a postcard there should be. Really? Where'd you learn that? I've been doing this for a long time. I never heard that. Well, I'm reading this white paper. I just Googled it, and it was telling me that the logo should be this size, and the percentage of white space on a postcard in front of us is not right. Really? Please don't ever call me again. You do not know what you're talking about. And I love watching you guys talk technical speak with each other about that exact same thing. Some guy's reading you a white paper about how to install a server, and you look at him like, I've got 2,000 of these under my belt there, Skippy. I can do this. Okay? I'm telling you this because you guys argue with us and other companies like us that help you with marketing all the time. And unfortunately for you, you want it to happen, and you want it to happen right now. You don't want to wait for it. I want that lead given to me, the appointment set for me by tomorrow. I want him to know what I'm coming for. I want him to have a check when I get there, and I want him to be ready to answer all my questions. Now, if you can deliver me that kind of lead, I can close it. Well, they have a name for it. It's called a referral. Okay? Your expectations are unrealistic. You guys are patient training a new guy on technology when he comes in. We used to do it all the time. Grab these kids right out of college, MCSC certified, A+, a few other things, bring them in. We had a whole little OJT planning process for them. We had a certain time he had to hit this type of installation. We had a whole migration process for the person to be trained to move up, Tech 1, Tech 2, Tech 3, all these different things we had laid out for them. And it took time to develop this person into an engineer. And we were patient because we had to be. There's no way they were going to walk in there in a couple of months and figure out how we were doing what we were doing. So why do you think it should happen that fast in marketing? Marketing is hard, isn't it? It's extremely hard. We're pretty good at it. You know how I know that? How do I know we're pretty good at it at MSPU? Because all of you are here. That's exactly right. You're all here, and it's not easy to get all of you here. You didn't all just, we first call and go, hey, glad you called. I'll be right over. Some of you, it took 57 touches, 75 touches to get you sitting here. And believe it or not, Southern California is the hardest place to call of all. Chicago, the people show up, 95% people that register show up. Here is tough. I've gone to events with Intel and other companies in San Diego, Orange County. They had a room like this, and 9 people are in the room. And they had demand gen and 6 weeks of calling and emailing, all this other stuff, and you show up, they go, hey, why don't you come do this thing, and there's 4 people in the room, San Diego. Where is everyone? You know? Marketing, huh? So I really want you to think about pacing yourself mentally for this because it's important. Because you need to become a subject matter expert in marketing. Which one first, marketing or sales? Marketing. Who says marketing? Raise your hand. Who says sales? Finally stumped the Canadian. It's marketing. Here's why. Salesperson's got to go run appointments. If there's no appointments, because there's no marketing, then if he's a trained, ready to go SME sales professional, can sell and close anything I'll put in front of him, but he can't market, he's waiting to be called onto the field. You have to figure out how to market. And it's not cheap, and you have to be patient, and you have to be thorough. And that's what you have to learn how to do. My leadership button didn't show up here. Oh, that should have been white, I guess. Can you read that? It says leadership. That's what it's going to take. And we're going to help you, but I'm asking all of you, so when you get on the calls and you're impatient, you want it all to happen, you do an email campaign and nobody responds. You do a postcard campaign, nobody responds. You do a bunch of calls, you can't get any appointments set. What you have to say to yourself is, why is that? What am I doing wrong? Just like you do when you're installing a server and you can't get this patch to happen or whatever technical thing you're doing, you don't just stop. You go, what am I doing wrong? Let me figure out what's happening, and you troubleshoot it, and you go at it again until you figure it out. And you'll be up all night until it's done, won't you? You won't give in. You won't let the server beat you. I've seen you guys in these 17-hour marathon server, we're not leaving until it's back up. They're swapping guys out on the phone with Microsoft in India. You're just going at it like crazy. Imagine putting that kind of intensity into your marketing. Just think it through for a second, because I will not let this server beat me. It is not going to happen. We've had guys back in the day keep a client down the entire time for 9 hours because he couldn't figure out how to configure this router. Well, you are losing. The client's down. That's never a good idea. But at the end of the day, I did get them back up 9 hours later. Oh, I guess that's a win. If you look at it that way, the client's not looking at it that way. So if really we can get you to think that way, we're on to something. Here's the key 4 points of the $1 Million Blueprint right here. First one's marketing. First one's marketing. So we're going to bolt on marketing KPIs. We've developed them. We've been testing them with some clients already, and I'm going to show you that screenshot. We're going to sit down and decide, you got a list, is it vetted? We're going to put some parameters of determining how many leads you have and can get or should be getting, how many calls you should be making to that list, how many emails to that list, and set some parameters so we can have a red, green, amber approach to each one of these pieces within the marketing campaign strategy. What's the most important concept or component of the marketing that we must have done first? Target market is right, but before we get there, well, we got competitive, that's good stuff too, but before we get to any of that, what do people see about us first that reflects our marketing efforts first? Our image/website. Our website's got to get fixed first. Some of you are losing business to your website because you won't spend the time or you won't spend the money fixing your website. And people are coming to your website and leaving every day. Your own clients are coming to your website. When we were at VAR, we should show our website against another person's website as just a point of how motivated we are about technology and how motivated they're not. They're not committed. Look at this. How can there be a technology company and have this kind of a website? Their argument would be, I'm not in the website business. I'm in this business. Well, when you're marketing for new clients, they're looking at everything about you, aren't they? You say this to your clients right now. You should fix your website. It's bad. I have a guy. We can take care of it. I'm waiting for one to say, well, yours is bad too. Is he going to fix yours? Yeah, it's under construction. He's going to take care of it. The reason I know that, you used to say this to us when we first started. Our website was bad. And we'd be talking about your website, and he goes, am I on the right site? Is this the, it says .us, so it has to be you. How can you talk to me about my website when yours looks like crap? I go, yeah, just try not to look at that right now. We're working on it. We got some Indian programmers working on it. It's going to be up here pretty soon. Don't worry about it. And we stalled for literally 6 or 9 months on the website, and guys just pounding me an email about it. Finally said, you're right. We know you're right. Okay? So marketing, and I put marketing professional because that's what you've got to go for here. Because if you can create leads and drive traffic to your site and keep that going and get all green spots on the areas on the KPIs but we're going to show you for marketing, then you just got to fix sales if you need to fix that. But one of the questions that people always ask when they leave out of here from boot camp, especially you guys that are startups, what's the first thing we should do? Go market. That's the first thing you should do. So our contribution to that, we just started this. We're doing the email blast out next week. We're website as a service. How many of you bought our website? Anybody in the room? So some of you are not going to like this. So just save your emails for me later. So we have a website as a service now. So we're sitting back thinking, what could we do to impact marketing for everyone? And what's the easiest and fastest way we can do that? Well, we can just build them a website and charge them $100 a month for it. And there's a bunch of stuff that goes with this. And refresh their content every 90 days on their site. Give them the article library. Give them the flash pieces that they can change as much as they want. Take care of the support. Don't charge them for that. And we'll host it for them too. And if that ain't enough, every year we'll change a new look and feel on the homepage. And we'll help you. Now, here's something else we're going to do that's going to blow some of you away. Video is huge now. You know how strong it is with SEO. Anybody would argue with that, how powerful SEO and video ties together on your website? Anybody agree, disagree? It's awesome, right? So what if a client went to your site and they clicked on, you had VoIP there, and they wanted to hear about your VoIP stuff. Say, hey, I've got a 2-minute clip here that tells you everything about a video clip, professionally done, that tells them about because they rather watch videos than read your PDF. We all know that, right? YouTube has helped us with that. I don't need to read anything. Even my phone, how to use it. I can go to YouTube and Google, put my phone in, it'll tell me how to turn it on. I mean, everything's right in there in clips. So they're used to that. The consumer, well, let's give them what they want. Punch in your name and email address, and you can watch the 2-minute clip. Now, here's the benefit to that. They watch the 2-minute clip. When they're watching the 2-minute clip, it emails you and tells you that John Doe at this email address is on your site watching 2-minute clip on VoIP. So ping him. So he's on your site looking at your 14 solutions, and this is the one that he or she wants you to contact them about. How awesome is that? And we will include that in the website and roll that out to you as your site turns up. You can't beat that. You can't, I don't know what else I can do other than coming to your place and showing you how to use it. $100 a month. It's a managed service. So for somebody ask me, you never pay it off. But why would you? Because we know how good some of you are at writing website content, right? Because some of you send us your stuff all the time. Oh, we want to write it. We have people here that can do that. No, you don't. No, you don't. You can't build it. You've been trying for 5 years and it's still sitting there. And I'll argue with you at this point. Let's say you can do it. I ask you this question. You bill at what per hour? 170. You jump out there, 175 an hour. So how long did it take you to write the content for just one page? Oh, I have to redrafts and rewrite probably 3 or 4 hours. Really? Could have had the site up by now. Okay? And you're not better at that than we are. This is what we do. So I really want you to think about that. So we've got to solve the marketing piece. Now, one thing we also did, some of you have used our collateral library. Some of you have not. So what we're going to do in this rev is when you pick your color scheme for your website, we're going to link it up with matching all of the collateral pieces to match your color scheme in your website in that one engagement and attach it there and put your logo on it for you. So when you're ready to do a direct mail piece for VoIP or whatever it is, it'll match your website right from the beginning when you launch it. So you have it all ready to go right there. So we thought we'd add that in there because that's something that some of you are not doing professionally, which you can do. And we're going to have one of our graphic design folks every quarter go in and refresh that content too. And since it's a live feed from our site, it'll just change on your library automatically for you if you want it to. So you're not going to have to spend time doing this because some of you will spend months working on your website. Is that correct? Are you in the room? And it's a lot of time to take. So please, we don't want to have you do that. The other piece of that, twice a month now, we're going to do what we call a marketing peer group. This is probably going to be the most significant piece. So twice a month, we're going to host a call. They don't know this yet, but Mark and Stuart are going to be involved with this. They're finding out right now. So they'll be on these calls with you. If you want help on your marketing plan, your marketing strategy, this SEO campaign you're trying to put together because you want to do it yourself, or pay-per-click plan you have, landing page ideas, lunch and learn approaches, whatever you're trying to do, or just marketing plan itself, log on to that call and they will help you. Put your plan up there. Now the value to that is all the people that are part of this group will be there sharing information every other week, every month. And they'll come back the next week and say, hey, we did this campaign blast, it went great, or no, it did not work. What would you suggest we should have done? Let's learn from that. Let's recalibrate for the next time, and let's fix it. And you put your marketing person in your company that you're paying to be a marketing person to be in there learning things from other people versus learning things by just spending money and watching it fail. Because to be good at anything, if, most of you know, you have to fail at it quite a few times sometimes to get good at it. That's how you learn. Right? How many servers did you crash before you learned how to not do that anymore? Right? I've seen this happen. Maybe it's just the other bars. Maybe it's not any of you. But the reality is you have to learn how to do this. So they'll be guiding the calls, but everybody else will be on the call who needs this work or training, and that's how you will learn. Because what we've learned is this. We have a ton of content on our website, education content about marketing. But some of you won't sit through those webinars. You don't have time, right? But if you had a quick question about an email blast or some other type of campaign you wanted to do, and we can log in and give you that information, we'll record all these too, of course, so you can always go back and listen. So if you can't get on them live, you can listen to them later, but you can get some feedback from professionals who know what they're talking about as it relates to marketing. And we think that's a fairly significant piece. So the sales piece, because once you solve that, here comes the hard part. I like your chances a lot on the marketing. Because it's got more process to it, and it's easier to plug in. Because we can trial and error that. We'll figure out how to get that to work if you stay with it long enough. Anybody not believe that? You think if no matter what you do, marketing is always going to fail? How many of you think that? How many of you hate marketing? How many of you are perplexed by it? Come on now, it's harder than that. Because we work at it pretty hard to try to figure out how to, I will tell you, you may not know this, you guys all call on lawyers, doctors, hospitals, dentists, you pick whatever vertical, CPAs, accounting, construction, architects. This is the hardest vertical there is. We marketed to all of them before we were bars. You guys are the toughest one there is. Tell me why. You're very analytical. Well, it's better than that. You're right on it, though. What else is there? You know-it-alls. You're smarter than everybody else. Isn't that true? And frankly, you have to be. You're going to go up against this hardware, this software. You've got to go in there thinking that I'm pretty good. Because if you're second-guessing yourself, the machine will beat you. Right? Some of you are getting beat anyway. Right? It's hard. I can't do that. I'm a marketing guy. I watch Eric do some of this stuff, and I go, I don't want to know any more about that. You just take care of it, whatever. I'm like the user. As long as when I open up my laptop and I click this icon and it comes on, it works for me, that's good enough. I don't need to know what happens behind that. If my internet's not working, I'm very simple-minded that way. But you guys are very smart at what you do. So we have to really pitch you hard to get you to get it. And you have great questions. And of course, whenever I'm on a call with one of you, I could be on a call with a dentist. He's not on Google, Googling everything I'm saying to verify all of it through the call. Any stat I just gave, well, you just told me this now. Are you sure about that, Gary? Yeah, I'm on the same Google page you're on. Of course I am. I know how this works, dude. And of course, if we disc you, which we do for most of the part, I know I'm talking to a DI versus a DC, and I apply the applicable medicine. Because disc is the best thing we ever created. I love that. Can you imagine if you're on a sales call, if you really understood how disc worked and you knew what every person on the phone was when you talked to them? That's something that you got to study, by the way. Disc is awesome. And it's so consistent. I can see a DI and a DC like that. And when I get on calls, I say, you're a DC? Great. Let's get right to the point. Let me pick up the pace right now. This is my favorite type of call. DI, if I schedule 30 minutes, I got to tell whoever's on the next call it's going to be a little longer than that. I'm not going to make it. And I'll even say, we got the call scheduled for an hour, Bob. You good with that? Yeah, hour's great. First question, 15 minutes wrong. I got 12 more questions to go. We're not going to be able to do it today. How many of your DIs in the room? You know who I'm talking about. You're doing it to everyone. So I covered some of this stuff here already on the website, the marketing piece, but we've got to fix your website. I just want to emphasize that point. And if you can do it yourself, you got somebody else that can do it, then do it. It doesn't have to be with us. Just you have to fix it. And it's got to be in the best practices. Every one of your pages have to have a way for them to contact you right away. If you have information to give them, let them submit their information so you can qualify every type of lead. You got to have some kind of live chat function on your website so you can see what's going on and some monitoring on your site. So you can see the analytics every day of what people are doing on your site when they get there, or that nobody's coming to your site. That's important too, isn't it? You did an email blast and nobody came to the site. Landing pages that support each type of solution that you're marketing for. All these core best practices, you have to learn how to do all this stuff to be a good marketer. So if you don't know how to do this, we will help you. The KPIs will keep everybody involved in the situation honest. If it's all red, then it's all red. If it's red and amber, it's red and amber. That's the component that we're adding that's going to help you manage this without having to touch all of it yourself if you've delegated this to someone. So that's the distinction. We've never done that part before. I could tell you all the metrics of what you should have for marketing, but had no way to keep you accountable to it. So if I get on a call with you, you email me your KPI sheet, I go, all right, so we're amber here, we're red here, we're red here. Well, what are we doing about the red? We've been red for 3 straight weeks. Are you ready to submit your flag that you can't do it, or you don't want to, or you don't care? Which is it? Right? And then you can say, well, this is why the reason I can't get from $550K a year to $750 is because I cannot prospect. And that is the only way to grow. You have to bring in new business. Isn't that correct? You have to bring in. Can we count on referrals anymore? Yes? We can? Who's still good and good referrals? Because you can get them. So this is what that looks like. And we'll show you how to work this, but this is the piece that we'll set up with you on these calls and get you set up. So sales. How many are selling more than 3 solutions? How many are selling 4? 5? 6? 7? Ben, you guys don't count. 8? So that's 8 solutions a lot. But there's some great stats out there. If you get your client 3 to 4 solutions deep, 90% retention, by the way. They can't leave. If they do, it's hard. So you really got to work on that. So same thing as with the marketing. We're going to have a call for sales, though, every single week. Myself and Raphael and Roy are going to jump on those calls. Now, this is a gut check call. Who are my sales professionals in the room? This is a gut check call. So you get on the call with us, and you say, well, I've been out doing a presentation on unified messaging, and I can't get anybody to buy from it. All right. Where's your slide deck? You have it? Pull it up right now. We're going to do a go-to-meeting session right now. Pitch me. I'm the guy. Let's do the warm-up. Let's do it all live. There's 7 people on the call with us. Let's see what you got. We used to do this a long time ago. If you're a good sales professional, you should be able to pitch or present in a cave, in the parking lot, in the bathroom, in the hallway, outside, wherever the customer shows up, you should be ready to go. Is that not true? You can't say, well, wait, I need to have my coffee, I need to be ready to go, I need to have my suit on. No, it doesn't work that way. The opportunity shows up wherever it shows up, right? How many of you can do that? You got to be ready to go. So on any call, anytime, anywhere, you should be able to present. Just that simple. And we got to train you on how to do that. So people on that call can do that. So if you're ready to go and you want to be challenged, there's no question you can't ask about any objection that you're getting on those calls. And we're going to record every one of them. And one week we might feature VoIP, we might feature print management, we might feature telecom sales, we might manage services. Or if you have something that you want to just pull up on the call itself, we'll do it right there. We'll go as long as you guys want to go. And we're going to record every one of them. So here's where that guy was telling you about who got fired when he got back, by the way. Excuse me, released back to industry. I want to be sensitive. He got returned home. All we did was gave them ammo to get rid of him. Because they asked us, how's he doing? Not very well. Oh, awesome. Really? I thought you actually wanted to train him or try to fix it. Nah, we listened to the recordings. The dog won't hunt. It's over. Let's call it. All righty. No problem. I wish we knew that when you flew him all the way out here, that's what we were up for. It's unfortunate for this kid. But in that example, when they hired him, if he jumped on these calls, he'd have a chance. He could ask questions about prospecting. He said, they gave me a list of 72 names, 100, need more names. Where'd you get your list from? I bought it over here. You know where we buy our list from? Or I'm going to the library and pulling a list from this old thing, whatever Hoover's list, whatever he's doing, you'll hear other people on the call telling him what to do. Or he has a place he can go, or she, to do a presentation where people on the call can give him candid feedback that he can't get from his boss. Because the boss doesn't have time, or the boss isn't qualified to present or train him. Try to role play with him. You know how much we feel about role playing? It's a big deal. And we role play at our office. In fact, one of my personal KPIs is that I spend 2 hours a week to get green on my week of role playing with our team. Because I always promise to do it and never have time. So, all right, that'll be easy. Because I don't want to be red. You should see my list. It's bad. Whew. Then the university piece here, what we really want you to do is start to create a list of recorded webinars for your team of internal stuff. And you can do this with marketing too. So here's the idea. If you've got sales professionals right now in your company, when you're role-playing with them on a new solution or existing solution, record it. And start building a database of successful role plays. And some of you have VoIP systems in your office that record your calls. Take those calls and put them internally there for yourself. That was a great sales call you just had. So if you have a new person that starts to work for you, for a new sales professional, they don't have to start from zero every time. Over time, you will start to build this library of great, say, hey, the first day, just listen to these calls from the last 6 months of successful, or the ones where they couldn't get through. So they can get an idea what the script sounds like, the cadence on the call, the solutions themselves. They can sit in a room and just listen to those for days at a time before you had to spend some time with them, because you're building a database that they can pull from. It's like a knowledge library. So some of you are already doing that, but you're not archiving it anywhere. Is that correct? And you're spending all this time with them, so why not do it? So you got to build your own list. And the KPIs for these guys are awesome. It has revenue numbers right there at the bottom, prospecting costs if they're supposed to prospect, if they hit that number, the minimum number, how many appointments they're supposed to set, how many proposals they're supposed to get each week. Red, green, or amber, you set those milestones based on expectations. So if you don't want to manage them yourself, you put them on this rotation, they just give you the KPI sheet every week, and you'll see what's up. And if it's red, 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 of course you should stop by the second week. Go, why is it all red? Or you could say when you hire them, by the way, we live on KPIs. You have 6 weeks to do it or you're done. You got my attention. It makes it easy for you to do it now, because some of you are just too nice to let them back to industry, aren't you? Because I've heard this so many times. Well, Gary, he's such a nice guy. I'm sure he is. Did you hire him for a nice guy? Did you hire him to drive revenue? Now, you pick a side. Okay? Now, in some cases, because we've got a case like this at our office, you put them in the wrong seat on the bus. And you kept trying to force feed them the sales stuff, and they just couldn't do it. How many of you have done that? You should be able to do this. I'll give you an example of somebody most of you know, Mo. Mo came to us as a sales professional, by the way. So imagine, anybody know what a foot tub is? How many from the South? Yes, no one. A couple of us. Foot tub, right here. Inside of this foot tub is all the sales and marketing stuff we're supposed to teach Mo. And we were trying. We're taking him by his head and dunking him in it every week. Come on, Mo. You can do it. Mo's coming up. No, I can't. Yes, you can. We believe in you, Mo. I finally walked over. Maybe we should find something else for Mo to do. He's not hitting it here. But we knew he had some skill that could help us. We just had to find the right spot on the right seat on the bus for him, and we did. He got into partner support. This was perfect for him. And actually, to be fair to Mo, he came in to be hired for the partner support position when we first interviewed him, but someone had a, brainiac idea right here. Let's try Mo into sales. And he, being the hard-charging entrepreneur that he is, said, sure, I'll do it. Even though that's not what you hired me for, I'll try it. The sales team got a hold of him. They were going at them like tigers. It was hilarious. Lions? Did she say lions? Is there no such thing as a tiger? I don't know. It's funny. So we got him to where he needed to be. I'm telling you that because sometimes that's what you've done. You put a person in the wrong seat on the bus. Some of you promote people from a technical spot and put them into sales. I've seen it happen. Service desk, put them into sales. Or sales engineer and make them an actual sales professional, and you wonder why it doesn't work. So there's a reason for that. So this is the dashboard for them. You obviously can't see that stuff. It's too small. But we've got all the, and you notice we don't have 12 categories here. It gets too busy. You want 7 or 8 key things that you can manage really quickly and see what's going on very quickly. And all you're doing now is looking for the color code combinations to line up. And after you've taken people through this a couple of times, you start to build an expectation of what it should look like. First 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and you have some benchmark when you're bringing on new people. And when you show them this is the best thing of all. You say, this is what it's about. This is how it works. Right from the beginning, right from day one. You can do this for training. You have to watch 20 hours of webinars a week. You have to, whatever they're supposed to be. And if 20 hours is green, 15 hours is amber, and 10 hours is red. That's simple. That's how easy it is. They put in the numbers they're supposed to put in, and you know from there when you submit the numbers where they stand. The best part about KPIs that I really like is you have a master KPI board, and I think I should bring one to boot camp here, that has everybody in the company on it. So you get to see everybody's color scheme by week, every week. That's the best part, because guess what? Your people in your company who are higher achievers, who are knocking it out of the park, who are doing great, who are all green, want to know, why does Joe Bob here, the sales professional, who's been red in every category for the last 3 weeks, why is he still working here? I've been busting my butt to get all greens on every single category, and he's not or she's not, and how are they getting the pass? What's so special about them? You can't explain it, can you? The best part I like is they see him in the break room. Hey, Mark, I know you. What's your deal, dude? How you getting the pass? I'm over here on time every day. I'm updating the CRM system like I'm supposed to, because that's one of my KPIs. I'm making my calls. I'm doing whatever I'm supposed to be. I'm closing tickets. Whatever. You know the owner or something? What's up? Because every meeting I go into, they're beating me to death on my numbers, and you're getting a pass. And you're like, hey, get off me, man. Relax. I'm new here. I've been here 2 months. Well, they didn't give me that much time. That's the peer pressure that you don't have to apply to get applied for you. Because the people who are achieving high standard, they want to know that everybody else is doing the same thing that they're doing. Is that not correct? Does anybody else get a pass? No. But there's no way to visibly show what they're doing today. You might know as the owner, or the department level person might know, but not everybody knows. And that's what this gives. It gives everybody visibility on everybody's performance or lack thereof, and it's awesome. Accountability, you bet. Really quick, the vendor relationship piece on service delivery and outsourcing piece, the vendor piece is a big deal. Some of you are getting killed on the vendor stuff. Wrong relationships, or not the right ones in the right order, or getting out of it what you need from them to be effective. And we can really help you with that. Either we know them, or we know somebody that knows them, or somebody on the call knows them, or tells you who they're working with is helping them with this problem. And they'll candidly tell you how they're doing it. Configuration problems with X or Y, or this vendor won't do this, or well, we went with these guys. Oh, who are those guys? Never heard of them. Because if you get that wrong, some of you say, I can't make any money at managed services because you're buying a lot of vendor products that you can't use, and you're spending a lot of money on it. Because we'll buy the max licensing on anything, won't we? To get a break. And that's not always the smartest way to go sometimes. But you'll hear people telling you how they did it. So if you're having issues with that, this is how you get that done. This is the call that Eric's going to manage. And he'll show you how he's doing the KPIs and the stuff that he's doing with the relationship that he has. But more importantly, all your peers are on the call too. We've learned more from you about managed services than we ever learned as a VAR. Because you're really knowledgeable. Some of you say, you know what, I already tried those 4 things. Don't waste your time. But you don't get to talk to those guys normally. You get to go out there and trial and error it yourself, one vendor at a time. And each one of them costs you money, don't they? And how many of you have said, man, God, if I'd have known about this 2 years ago or 6 months ago, I would have bought this? How many of you said that before? Because at that moment in time, it seemed like the right decision. Or you say, you know what, I'm not going to buy yet. I'm going to wait, or I'm going to ping one of my people in my peer group here and ask them what they think, or do they know about these guys? Have they heard of this before I do it? Or on my next call, I'm going to bring it up and see if anybody knows about it. And we'll have active agendas for this kind of stuff. But this is a powerful, powerful tool. And some of you want to outsource, but you're afraid to. Isn't that right? This is where you get help. Who's done the outsourcing thing before? Who's on the call today? How many of you are using Armed Forces, using Synergy, using some other folks, and doing it successfully? And then you say, I've been doing it successfully. Here's what we did, and here's how we did it. And you can learn that stuff on these calls and feel more comfortable about doing it. It's important. And again, nice KPI tools, trouble ticketing percentages each day, how many tickets roll over to the next day, and you're giving ranges there. So you give your service technicians and your service desk folks something to shoot for. Managing, they could get 90% of all the tickets closed the first day that are level 1. They don't any of them roll over to the next day, and that's green. And they're shooting for that every day. And you're talking about how to bonus folks, this is how you do it. As a group, if you guys maintain green, successful for 3 straight weeks, 4 straight weeks, or whatever the numbers are, this is because if they do all of that, the production that you're going to get out of them is huge. Now you should say they should just do that anyway. Well, it doesn't work that way. We all know that. Your perception of production and your staff sometimes perception of production is not the same. And they can't read your mind as much as you like them to. So this is the overall view of this particular program. We happen to believe that if you attack these 4 pieces, now I didn't cover, on the operations tab, which we will cover, I did not cover the talent management piece, which is a huge piece, the financial acumen piece you've got to cover, which is also a huge piece, but we can bolt all that stuff on. And there's some project management stuff in there we didn't cover as well, and some sales engineering pieces we didn't cover, but those are all included. But these are the first 2 pieces or 3 pieces you've got to master first. Because if you get all those done right, we can take care of the other ones fairly easily, can't we? Especially with the marketing. So this is our commitment to you. So this is what next year this time, when our first boot camp in Orange County in 2012, we're going to be able to report back and say, out of all the people inside of our $1 million blueprint, how many of them have moved up to $1 million or had some significant increase, and what does that look like? How many? Where are we? Because we're going to be getting that data from you every single time while you're on these calls with us. Because every time you get a win, you get a sale, or you get your marketing to work, you figure out how to do it in your town or in your county or where you are. Or some of you who want to do marketing across the country but you're not comfortable doing it, this is where you'll get comfortable doing it because somebody's already doing it. I can guarantee you that. So we've got other premium partners that are more aggressive that are going to be on these groups with you. They won't just be the people in this room. That's why we can only take so many. I'm not sure how that got back in there again. Am I going the wrong way? Missed a couple slides. But I think I must have sent you the wrong version. I didn't give you the last version of it. My bad. I should have saved it before I sent it, huh? Isn't that how you do it? It's supposed to be a shot on me. You guys are tired already? So really quick, so the question is, how do you get it? All you have to do is become a premium partner. If you're a premium partner already, you just have to sign up for it. That's how easy it is. It's that easy. Now we want you to do, some of you who have sales professional and marketing people and service tech, all of them can sign up for this under your premium partnership that you may already have. And I would put every one of them, every one of these groups if I was you. And I'd make them do, first step is, because you're going to have to go with Mo, get an onboarding call, set the benchmark for your KPIs first. That's the hardest part. What should I say? If I got this person doing sales, they're going to argue with me about how many calls I should have them making, how many proposals they should do, how many appointments I should have them set. Well, they can argue with us. That won't last long. No, it's not a democracy. At least not yet. Right? You tell me how many you want them to make. This is the number. Go try and hit it. Remember, you're trying to give them something to shoot for. So if you want them to do 5 appointments a week and they do 3, that's not bad. It's still 3. Last week they were doing 1 or 0. So we work towards a bigger number over time. You can go in and change the KPIs anytime you want. You can up the game anytime you feel like it. You know, we have a young lady in our office who, just the other day I said, God, how many people can you sign up for boot camp in one day? She goes, oh man, probably 7 or 8. I said, really? That's all you can do? What if I gave you $100? Could you do 20? She goes, I don't know, that's really hard. I said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to leave the $100 right here. If you get the 20, you can keep it. If not, just give it back to me at the end of the day. She did 22. Now, her KPI for her every day is 7. It's amazing what people can do when you inspire them. Now, she won't be able to do 21 every day. God, I wish she could. But she just got fired up and got motivated. Look how easy that was. That's a KPI exercise right there at its best.
She called Ben 5 times in one day. I was just kidding.
That's actually who did call you, by the way. But she's an animal on the phone. But what we've done with our company, and I'll show you guys our KPIs if you want to see them just for fun. It's a little different than this because of different things that we do. But it's a drill. But we got everybody talking about it. We got everybody trying to figure out what they're supposed to be doing. That's stuff that I would normally be doing with them. So, all right, all the things on the KPI list is a conversation I'm having a meeting about. Now it's right there in front of them. This book that got us going on this is a book by a guy named Patrick Thin. Have you guys ever read his book called Execute Without Drama? That's what this is. Because when you have a sales meeting, what are you fighting about? How many calls they didn't make, the appointments they didn't make it to or didn't set enough appointments, right? You're arguing, what are you talking about? The leads are bad, or I could only do 2, all this whining and sniveling, right? Well, when you put the KPIs out, that takes away from that. Well, did you do the 200 calls a week or not? No, I did 150. So then you're amber. Next question. I don't need to hear the rest of that. You're supposed to get 50 new leads a week, buy them from the list company. You only bought 20. Why did you forgot to do it? That's another red. if you do red 4 weeks in a row, this will be over for both of us because you'll be released back to industry. You don't have to worry about KPIs anymore. This problem will solve itself. You see how that works? And you can put this on every single person in your company. And I'm telling you, when they get that you're serious about this, they'll adjust accordingly. So when you're not there, when you're here, they still got to get their KPIs done. Some of your people right now are on vacation because you're not there. And you don't have any way to manage them. You could log into the master spreadsheet of this during the middle of at the end of the day and see where their numbers are. When you get back, you still got to hit the numbers I gave you before I left. You know what they are. It's a self-managing mechanism. It's awesome. That's why you got to do it. Any questions? Because I got to get out of here. Thank you very much.